The key to life does not come from living for this world. It comes from living for God. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, and welcome to another Walking with Christ podcast. Thank you all for taking a moment to go ahead and join in while you're here. If you could, like, share, subscribe, comment, so we can continue to fellowship together. Just want to make sure that we are continuing to grow as a community, as a whole in the body of Christ. And just thinking about some things because, right before I turned on this video, everyone, the one thing that came to my mind was, what does it mean for you to be yourself? What does that cause you to think about when it comes to who you represent and how you represent yourself? Well, before we get deeper into it, this is what Ephesians 2:10 says about it. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. So sometimes we see people with a struggle, and that struggle is trying to figure out what you are meant to do, what you are here for. And some people can go through their whole life and just feel like they are not sure what they are here to do, what they are here to be. And that may be you. Sometimes you just feel like, for some people, that they're just existing, that they're just here for reasons that could possibly carry little meaning. While on the other side, there are people who are doing a lot, feel like their calling is to do certain things, feel like their purpose is to do certain things, and doing that work in a way that they are trying and living in a way to honor God. And in some ways in between all that is that some people are believing that they are here to do something, and it's really a personal kind of self-inducing desire that may not necessarily align with what God is having you do here, what God would be having you do here, if you were truly aligned with Him. And that discernment that is required, that is needed, that is necessary to navigate those situations sometimes gets hard. And this is where it gets hard at, because some of you, to include myself, will sit here and think in their mind, oh, I'm meant to do this, which could be whatever it is. And it becomes a thing where we can see ourselves doing it. But the one thing we don't do sometimes is focus on what should be the foundation and core of what would be helpful, what would support us navigating through all that. That is, staying in close relationship with God, staying in our word, staying in prayer. And I've found myself in the past sometimes, going in faith as I should, trust in Him, no matter what the the situation is, no matter what the result is, or the outcome is, and this going, this making sure I'm obedient to what he would have me do. And that's not always been the case. Sometimes I would go forward without going to him. And when we find ourselves doing that, it becomes easier to get off the path and to go on a path and convince ourselves that we are doing something that we are meant to do, when we are really just doing something to kind of fill the void of a problem that we created, and finding ourselves in situations that we are struggling because we're in places to where we're not meant to be, where that work is not where we are supposed to be focused on, and our work is meant to be in something else. And sometimes we can paint an image in our mind as far as what our interest could show up as to do certain things that are potentially attractive to what we are trying to live our life in, when it's more important who we live our life for. And that can get lost. And we have to make sure that we are aware and accountable to that, because we, again, are here to do certain works. We live here to do certain works. And those works are always connected to honoring and pleasing him. And sometimes what we see is a mixed message of how some people live, in a way that where they're doing works to honor others even, and sometimes even to honor themselves, to glorify themselves, to validate oneself. And while that can be very much something that is normal in the human nature of us, it can also distract us from what God in us can be, what God in us can lead us towards. It's not about what it looks like to others. It's about what it looks like to God. We have to get to a point to where that focus means more to us than just words. We live for God. Okay? And while that is great, we need to make sure that it continues to be something that we are aware of and working on. Because complacency can hit you in all facets of life. And complacency can show up family, in the family environment, for yourself in certain things, in certain ways, at work, wherever. It can also hit you in your faith. We just don't live life in service and in honor to God to get to certain points, to get to milestones. We live life to honor God, to be present in the need, to grow in his ways, and to make sure that we are sharing the gospel to as many people as will hear us no matter whether we think that they're hearing us or not, but to pass on the message. And that's not necessarily a livelihood that could be lucrative in the world, so to speak. But I'll tell you, it can be rich in your relationship with God. So when it comes to all this, working or doing the work as a man or woman of God that you are called to do may come with ups and downs, may come with different feelings, may come with struggles. But I'm telling you, going down the other path will lead to a lot of other things that you don't want in your life. And what it looks like, what it feels like to do his work and to feel close to him, to be around others who are on their own journey in that way, I can't think of a single time to where I've had that feeling, to where the other things that are of this world have ever presented something that can make you feel any better. And it's unfortunate that the things of this world that would lead you to believe that they can give you that feeling put you in a situation to where it can cause you significant issues. So the thing of it is that let God's work for you guide you. You may not understand everything about that work is, but when you let your connection with him be what drives you, then your life won't be a matter of circumstance. It will be a matter of growing into your calling and living in every moment to where your life is rich with him in your life, in the road that you are on in salvation. God bless.